marks the 10-year anniversary of the landfall of Hurricane Katrina on the Gulf Coast. The storm not only was the costliest hurricane on record in the United States, but also the deadliest since 1928, killing more than 1,000 people. KTAB's Stephen Decatur is live in studio with tonight's top story.
The storm displaced hundreds of thousands, and some of those people have found their way to the big country. I spoke to a Katrina survivor who now resides in Abilene, and this is her story.
I had no idea what we were in for.
Madeline was only 12 when Katrina hit. She was living a few blocks from the water. Her family waited until the night before landfall to evacuate, seeking shelter 15 miles north in Van Cleve.
My anxieties didn't really set in until the storm started to make landfall, and I started to realize just how bad it was.
And it was bad.
The windows in the church were shattering around us, and the church itself started to flood.
But once the storm was over, the real nightmare began.
My father actually left to go try and check on our home, and he actually ended up swimming about 2 blocks to get to our house.
Their home was still standing, but their neighborhood was gone. The family decided to stay in Van Cleve, but even though Madeline's father had surveyed the damage, they still had no idea just how bad Katrina really was.
Everything was destroyed. Their homes, businesses.
The week following the storm was extremely hard on the family.
Just wondering when it was going to end, when we were going to be safe.
They had no cell phone service, no running water, no electricity, and were running out of food. And then things got even worse.
She went downhill pretty fast.
Madeline's mother fell ill, and they decided they couldn't stay near the coast any longer. Madeline, her sister, and her mother headed to her family member's house in Jackson. Her father, a contractor, stayed behind to help rebuild their hometown.
Once we finally got gas and made it to Jackson, that was actually the first time in over a week that my family had been able to get a shower, to bathe, to put on clean clothes, and I get emotional about this part.
How did you feel then?
Very relieved, very, very grateful.
It would still be 3 more months before Madeline was reunited with her father and returned home. 10 years later, Madeline lives in Abilene with her husband, who is stationed at Dyess. The family of 2 is about to be a family of 3 and plan to soon move back to Ocean Springs.
I want to go back because, you know, we extended our hand to help others and they extended their hands to help us.
Katrina wasn't the first storm Madeline's family had been through. Her mother survived Category 5 Camille in 1969. It's a storm that Katrina is often compared to. Reporting in studio, I'm Stephen Decatur. Back to you, Avery.